Oh my god, the way I have been waiting to make a video series on this girl right here, okay? Because the amount of lessons you can learn from going through her content about love bombing, dating, unhealthy boundaries, unhealthy timelines, dating as a Christian, it's so incredibly messy. And if you're familiar with her content, then you already know. Especially if you're familiar with her comment sections, you already know, okay? But if you're not familiar with her, and if you're not familiar with me, first of all, hello, my name's Anna, this is Anna is Random, and this is Danielle Walter. As you can see, 1.2 million followers, an incredibly big influencer, self-proclaimed the Carrie Bradshaw of San Francisco, now in her Charlotte era, mainly because she has recently got engaged to her boyfriend Lucas, as published in People magazine, which is a very controversial and for good reason. And on this new series that I'm going to be starting on this channel, we are going to be going through the whole timeline from the beginning to where we are now, how we got here, how things have changed, and why people are saying that her whole relationship is staged, fake, unhealthy, all the necessary details, the gossip, the messiness, okay, of this girl right here and her content, okay? Now maybe you're like me, okay? As you can see, I don't follow her, nor do I have any interest on giving her a follow on Instagram, okay? But if you're like me, then her videos may have been popping up on your feed a few times over the last year or so, and she piques your interest. She makes you go, you look interesting, and maybe not always for the right reasons. And more recently, especially since she started dating her now fiance Lucas, which wasn't that long ago, her videos just kept popping up more and more, okay? Maybe obviously it was because I was watching her content and going through the comment section, occasionally commenting on some things, you know, obviously that's why, okay? But I'm sure I'm not the only one like this, okay? And again, if you are familiar with her content, this is going to be quite the entertaining process for us all, okay? We are not alone in finding many problems with the kind of things this girl is promoting. But like I say, this is a series I'm starting in for episode 1. We're gonna start at the very beginning, even before she met Lucas, okay? Because she used to live in New York, I think, and then she moved to San Francisco about a year ago, which is when her content started to pop up on my feed, was around the time that she moved to San Francisco, like just before, I think. And like I said, since then her content's been popping up more and more, and my own personal experience with unhealthy relationships and things like love bombing and things like that, which we're gonna get into, have been firing so hard, which is why I had the motivation and the interest to make a YouTube video series about this. Call me your new favorite drama channel, okay? This is what we're trying to do over here. Oh, let me make it clear, she wasn't always so controversial, you know? She's built a following for a reason, and it wasn't all around controversy. She used to just make, like, kind of wholesome dating in your 30s type content, just dating journey content, which a lot of people were finding very helpful and very entertaining. So for the first video we're going to react to, oh, sorry, that's my boyfriend sending me reels when I'm trying to make a video. But the first video we're going to react to is this, which is a guy that she was dating before she met Lucas. It was just after she'd moved to San Francisco, and this was her second date with him. And I want you to pay very close attention to the type of language and the boundaries that she's going to set, and we're going to talk about everything that she talks about in this video, but I just find it incredibly interesting, and you're gonna find out why, okay? A lot of you might remember this video, so let's see how this goes.
I am on my way to a second date. I haven't been on a second date in a very long time, so I'm excited. This guy seemed very sweet and kind on our first date, and we seemed compatible. And he knows that I'm taking a break from drinking, and so he suggested we go to pizza, which I'm excited about too. It just seems very sweet. So obviously I'm gonna let you know how it goes, and I'm walking there right now. I wanted to film this, but it's like 6 blocks away. This is not a walking outfit, this is the outfit. So pray for me. Okay, here we go. So cute in here. I got here a little early, so now I wait.
And this is where it gets controversial.
That was so awkward. Okay. Okay, I get there, and he brings these, and he's so sweet, and we have this lovely dinner, and oh, my heart's going so fast. And the dinner was great, and he is so kind, and I want to see him again. He just walked me to the car, got me in the car, I gave him a hug, and when I was pulling back, he like pulled me in, and I turned, and he's going in to kiss me, and I just go,
Wait.
Because it was way too soon. It was way too soon.
Okay, it was way too soon. We're gonna get into this, okay? Because listen, in her defense, if this was a situation where this was like one of her guy friends, although I don't know, she's probably one of those people who doesn't have guy friends when, you know, she wants to date, because some people don't do that. It's weird. I think it's weird. I mean, personally, I spent a lot of my time when I was growing up with male friends. Female friends were not a very good thing for me. Didn't last very long. The longest friendships I've ever had were with guys, so, and they were always ruined by girls, so just take that and run with it. But I understand if this was like a guy friend situation. Like, we've all seen those videos where guy friends are trying to kiss their like girl best friends and it doesn't go well, like those kind of scenarios. Okay, fair enough. But this is a second date, and she's talking about kissing somebody on a second date is too soon. Now, she has been talking about how she wants to see the guy again. This guy was really sweet, really nice, brought her flowers, and he's initiated the kiss, okay? Now, they do go on a third date, spoilers, so it's not like one of those times where the guy's like performative nice and is expecting like something at the end of a date. I also understand maybe waiting to have sex with a guy. Again, she's going to talk about this in another video that we're going to make a bit later on when she's dating Lucas. She talks about that kind of thing. We're going to get into that. But I understand, like, waiting, because I've waited, like, at least, like, a month before to have sex with a guy, like, that I was seeing. Like, I've done that before. But with a kiss, like, a kiss is innocent. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to go to hell for kissing a guy. It's like you're not going to go to hell for holding hands, which I know, and this is something we're going to talk about quite a lot in this series. I know that American churches specifically, okay, and this is coming from a Christian, okay, American churches specifically are very extreme on the whole, if you touch somebody, you're going to hell. Like, I'm sure we've all seen some of those, like, American comedians who've maybe, like, left the church now, and they'll talk about when they were, like, growing up in the church in, like, youth group and stuff, and their youth pastor's like, if you hold their hands with like this girl, then like you're going to, it's like that scene in Mean Girls. It's like, if you have sex, you're going to get chlamydia and die. You know, that kind of thing. It's literally like that, but with like holding hands with somebody or like kissing and stuff like that. Some of them will go so far extreme. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in UK churches as well, but it seems so much more likely that American churches will indoctrinate people so much harder. And, you know, that should be studied, okay? And listen, I'm not anti-American in any way. I think Americans are cool. But also Americans can be kind of stupid. So, take that what you will. But it's the way that she's like, it's like too soon for me. And this is the thing as well, because when I was doing the research for this video, I remembered I think this is when she still lived in New York, I'm not too sure. Maybe people who are more familiar with her content and have better memory than me can leave it in the comments. But she literally went on a date with a guy. I'm pretty sure it was the second date as well. And there was a video I specifically remember. She was in like the corridor sort of hallway, like front hallway thing of her apartment she had at the time. And she had this big thing of flowers, and she was talking about, like, oh, we kissed. I think it was Pilot Man. There was a Pilot Man. That's when her content first started popping up on my feed, was, like, Pilot Man. Tell me if I'm wrong. But that was when it all started first happening. But she kissed a guy on the second date. She is not unfamiliar with doing this. I don't know what's changed. Again, like, this is the last guy she went out with before she met Lucas, so this is kind of when her content started to change, and people started saying she was, like, fake or whatever, so we're gonna watch this change. But in my opinion, I'm like, girl, you're fine. You can kiss a guy and not go to hell. You're not gonna, it's not that deep, okay? In a way, I think that, because she's gonna go on to say, like, oh my god, it was so awkward, and I'm like, girl, you made it awkward, okay? This was all on you. Because if a guy is trying to initiate, and obviously we know sometimes guys just do things with their dicks, okay, it is what it is. But if a guy is being really sweet with you, again, he gave her flowers, she was really sweet, really nice guy, and it wasn't performative, we've said this before, if he's initiating, and it doesn't have to be a full-on makeout, okay? If he's initiating just like a peck on the cheek, or like just peck on the lips, little cute little first kiss moment, okay? He's showing that I like you and I want to take this further. A kiss, again, is innocent. Innocent. It doesn't have to be such a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's cute. Kissing is the same category as holding hands for me. If it's just a little kiss, obviously, like, making out in a sexual way is obviously, you know, a different thing. But when you're talking about just like a little first kiss with a person, like kissing goodnight after a second date, then that's fine. Maybe this is just me. And this may be just my boundaries versus hers, but I'm thinking, girl, please stop, okay? And I think maybe this goes back to, I'm reaching, I know, but like, maybe this goes back to like, sort of the modesty culture within Christianity. We were kind of talking about this a little bit before, that I just don't subscribe to in any way, shape or form, because I just think that it's incredibly restrictive and kind of misogynistic, so it is what it is. And again, this is coming from somebody who like very deeply believes in God, has a very deep spiritual connection with God, and has done for many years, and has been going to church since I was literally born, church choir and all. So before you, so there's my credentials. But yeah, so she's gonna carry on talking about this, but that's just my thoughts on that, because I just thought, wow.
And for me, and that's what I said not yet, and he goes okay, and then from that point it was so awkward. I get in the car and he's like, okay, well let me know when you're back, because I'm going back home for like a week. I said okay, thank you. And I could not turn to look. It was just so awkward.
You made it awkward. You were the one who made it awkward.
So I want to see him again, but it was like, it was too soon, and
it's too soon.
Now I feel awkward and weird. So maybe I just need a minute.
Oh, maybe I just need a minute. Do we see her fucking facial expressions? Maybe I just need a minute. Maybe I just need a minute. Also, be very aware of people who fucking do this shit, because most of the time, narcissists. But that's a topic for another video. But yeah, the way she's like, I just need a minute. I just need a minute. I'm like, girl, what are we on? What are we actually on? Like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, so that's the first video. Unfortunately, the rest of them are now just going to be Instagram Reels. This is the only one I was able to download, unfortunately. So that was the second day they went on. Like I said, they did go on a third date. So let's watch what happens with that.
Prime, skin tint, chaotic, right? Wrong. Bit more glow, nice. Contour, blush, teeny bit of powder. Gonna add some freckles back, nice. I'm getting a sty, or I'm trying not to, but I can't really do anything to my eyes.
God, okay. Most of the time I just like skip to the juicy bits. I didn't actually properly watch what these actually look like. Okay,
lips?
She's putting lip oil on. Which is, okay, fine. Maybe invest in a lip stain. I like a
hair?
Lipstick.
Oh, creasing. Let's go get dressed. Okay, for tonight, I think I'm gonna do this black halter top.
Foundation on your eyes.
And
okay, sorry.
These jeans. Okay.
Sorry. Right. She goes, no creasing. Girl, don't put foundation and concealer on your eyes then if you don't want it to crease. Set it at least, my god. Use an eye primer. Do something. Don't just do this because it's a terrible idea. Just don't do it, okay?
I changed both the shirt and the jeans. We are going to an outdoor wine bar for charcuterie. So I'm gonna do these boots and this jacket. Oh no. I'm trying a new deodorant. Scent of the night is Versace Eros. 1, 2, 3, 4, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, which bag? Which one? Neutral, brown, or sparkle? I think I'm gonna go neutral, even though I really want to go sparkle. I'm just gonna do these silver hoops.
Just the get ready with me video. So let's go to the one where she's actually talking about the date. Hang on.
I am on my way to a third date. This is with the guy that tried to kiss me on our last date. But I don't want to write him off for that. I just think that he was going for it and he was respectful when I declined. Okay, so good for the guy. I think I just need to like communicate with him and just be open. And he's a very sweet guy. He's successful. He's nice. And I'm not feeling all the things that I normally feel with when I go out with, you know, what my usual type is or what I usually go for. And so I'm just really going for the slow burn kind of thing. So anyway, I'm excited. He's also so awesome with planning. So he asked me, he's like, I'd love to see you before I go on a trip this weekend. He's going to LA or something. And I said, I don't know if you can make this work.
Let's pause it. So, like I said, I want you to pay attention to the kind of language she's using, because so far she is talking in a quite healthy way. Apart from the whole kiss boundaries thing, which, you know, is weird. But apart from that, like, so far she's describing the guy as really nice. It's a slow burn. This is how it should be. We're gonna see the contrast versus her first date with Lucas. We're gonna see this shit, okay? We're gonna see the kind of changes, because it's fucking polar opposites, and that's the problem. But, you know, this is normal. This is normal dating content. The way that she's talking about the guy being a good planner, all this stuff. You know, he sounds like a very green flag type of guy. She's the one making it awkward again. But anyway, let's continue.
But I'm available tomorrow. And there were only 2 days before he leaves. And so he's like, how does charcuterie sound? Because he knows that I'm still kind of like taking a break from alcohol. And I said, that sounds perfect. And he was like, okay. First of all, he said, you have no idea how happy I was to wake up to this text, which made me smile. And then he's like, okay, meet me at this place at this time. And so now we're going. So in the car, I'm like 2 minutes out, and I'll let you know how it goes. Also, he's never seen me with my hair down. I've kind of always just ended up being up, and my hair, I think, is one of my most attractive physical qualities. So I'm excited to see if he says anything, if he notices, all of that. Okay, bye. I am on my way to...
So, again, this guy, to be honest, and we're going to get into why this didn't work out in a minute, which is very interesting. But so far, this guy sounds like a walking green flag, okay? Very healthy boundaries, very respectful, quite clearly, liked her a lot, okay? And in my opinion, and we're going to get into this because she does explain a lot, like I said, why it didn't work out, I think she was the problem, okay? And that's just the way it is. But yeah, so this was their third date. Let's go into the video of the debrief.
Okay, I just got in the car after the date. That went really well, but also we identified some things that might not align, unfortunately, but I'm not sure. So very interestingly, I'm going to get to this first because I know that people are going to be asking about this. At the end of the date, I brought up, you know, our last date, the whole, you tried to kiss me and I pulled away. And I just very clearly said consent is super important to me. So before anything like that happens, I just need to be asked first. And he...
Ew. Ew. I'm sorry. What? How old are we? 14? 13? 12? How old are we? Please. Imagine... Okay, listen. Again, this might just be personal preference. But when it comes to especially the first kiss, it's all going to be in, like, intuition, okay? And you've got to be given the signals. Okay, now maybe if she wasn't giving him the signals and he went in for it anyway, that's just him being ballsy, respectful to him. Again, she said he was respectful when she declined. Fair enough. But. but, okay? 3 buts. The way that she's like, consent is really important to me, so... if you don't ask me if you want to kiss me, then I'm not going to kiss you. Girl, please. Like, has she got any intuition? Asshole? Please? She's meant to be a woman of God. Where is your intuition? Like, the one thing that I've gained from my relationship with God is intuition, okay? The way I am able to realize what's from God, what is a lesson, and what is, you know, the way I've got that tuned in, because I've been working on it for years, it's clean cut, okay? And I am not afraid to either make a first move. I've made a first move on a first kiss before. I've done that, okay? Granted, a lot of the time it was kind of prompted by the guy, but regardless, I have made the first move with a first kiss before. I've done that before. And also, I'm just not afraid to be an adult woman with a sexuality, like, despite being, I'm saying despite being Christian, like, with my Christianity. Like, I'm not a whore. I don't do OF, right? But, like, I've been confident in my sexuality. I'm going through a bit of a dip at the moment, but that's regardless. But, like, in the past, I have been, like, very confident in my sexuality, because I just think that's a normal part of being human and an adult. Again, this whole, like, I don't want to be like this. Is, again, you're not going to go to hell if you kiss somebody. I'm sorry. Especially, like, maybe on the first date, okay, I've heard that before, and that's perfectly fine. But on a second date, especially if you want to see them again, girl, just kiss the guy. I just find all this very cringe. And again, this is kind of when her content started to change a little bit, and, like, the messaging and the language she was using started to change a bit, but, like, it's about a leap so much further, like, so much further. We'll see, okay?
He was super respectful and was like, thank you so much for telling me, and
don't forget your phone. Please.
And I appreciate how you're able to very effectively and confidently set your boundary. So that was good.
Okay,
but we
pause again for a second, because that's also good. You see how I'm saying this man is a walking green flag? The way that, even though she's being, in my opinion, kind of weirdly cringe and crazy, he's still like, you know what? Yes, that's fine, and I appreciate, you know, that you're effectively and confidently communicating your boundary. That's fair enough. I respect that. Great. This guy sounds like husband material. However, obviously they said that some things didn't align. We're gonna get into that later.
Find that the social media thing,
there you go,
might not be in alignment. Me being public with my life, which is a challenge of what I do here and what I love to do and create, isn't really something that everyone is comfortable with. So
she's had this issue before.
We both agreed to just think about it, because I was like, if I'm being honest, like, there are some things that I like to experience first and then share with you guys, so I give it a little bit of time, but there are just some things that
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
there are just some things that I feel comfortable with myself just sharing right away, and when you add another person into that, it can get complicated. But I don't want to have to send every piece of content to my potential partner to get approval. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that would be bad.
He was super respectful, and we both were just like, let's think about it. So I don't know. We'll see if he, like, hits me up again to go out or what he says, and I will keep you updated. Okay, bye. Okay,
so, that was that. Again, this guy sounds like husband material, walking green flag. Again, what she does, and she's had this issue before, because I know, because I've seen other bits of her content, that she has had issues before where the social media side of things has been a problem for potential people that she's dating, which, okay, fair enough, that's to be expected. And fair to her, we're being fair to her for now, okay, as much as some things she's done to cringe, but it gets a lot worse as we go along. She has been very good at being like, you know what, I'm not going to change this for you. I'm not going to change this for everybody. I don't want to have to send all my content to somebody, which, yeah, that would be insane. But again, the guy sounds really good, and let's move on, because she doesn't hear from this guy for a while. She does a bit of, like, travel content, and, like, she just moved to apartments. She's doing a bit like redecoration kind of thing, and then she makes this video where she said that she deleted her Hinge because she wanted to focus on other types of content for her page. But in part 2, she talks about this guy. Boom.
Okay, so what about Philly Man? So after our third date, which was the last video I posted, we both agreed to take some time and think about, you know, the whole social media thing. Because I basically was like, I'm not changing what I'm doing for someone. Like, this is what I do. So you either can hang with it or you can't. And I totally respect if you can't. And we just had a great conversation about, like, thinking about it. And then I didn't hear from him. And I thought that was that. And I honestly didn't notice, because I have done a lot of work on myself as a recovering anxious attachment to not get excited about people unnecessarily. Like, I went on 3 dates with this person.
Wait. Now, as somebody who was also recovered anxious attachment, recovering, nobody's perfect. But, well, actually, I'm in a healthy relationship now, so I'm pretty good. Okay, I don't need to be anxious. But, like, the past few people I dated, it was, you know, it was pretty good. And I like was able to actually set boundaries for once, which for me is crazy. But as somebody who is also like this, when she's saying I don't get excited about people, like, hold that thought for when she meets Lucas, okay? Hold that thought for when she meets Lucas, because my god, does that change. And again, we'll go into more of depth talking about kind of love bombing and that kind of side of things when it comes to that. So it's just interesting that she talks about that here, because that changes damn quick, okay?
And while I believe from what I've experienced so far, they're a good person, but I don't know them yet. There's no relationship to mourn of not hearing back from someone. And that's something that I am actually very proud about, is the detachment that I have with that, because it's not appropriate to get all jazzed about someone that you don't know. So I didn't even notice, honestly. There were a couple
Quote that. It's not appropriate to get jazzed about somebody that you've just met. Hold that thought, okay?
moments where I was like, oh yeah, that happened and I never heard back, but like I wasn't upset about it. So simultaneously, I was en route to a conference at my church, just like busy, and I get this long text from him, and I'm obviously not going to read it, but the summary, it was really nice. The summary was, I did a lot of thinking in order to really understand. I watched some of your content about me, and just a really nice, respectful message about how he appreciated what I do and thought it was respectful the way that I shared information without like giving away privacy, and agreeing with me that I should never have to run my content through.
Can I just say I love this guy so far? The way that she's describing him, the way he's been so respectful about what she did. It's kind of a shame that this guy didn't end up being like what Lucas should have been in a way, because she didn't end up with a guy like this, because this would have been perfect for her, in my opinion.
Through a man or my partner to get approval, and I think he asked me out again, and I was busy. So he took like, I don't even remember the time, but like a week and a half to text me. And I'm the type of person that like, I can't send you a really thoughtful message if I'm busy. And I thought that required a very like this was a multiple paragraph text that he sent me, and I wanted to respect that he like put a lot of thought into this, and so, you know, craft him a good response, because that's what it deserved. But I was not in the mental space in order to do that.
Yeah,
I was busy. Like this conference that I went to was nonstop. So I took like a week to respond to him.
Okay,
and all of that was about...
How long was this conference? You're telling me that you were on the way to a conference and you didn't have like 10-15 minutes to actually craft out this text. You had to wait another week. No. If you cared about this guy so much, then why are you late? Like, quite clearly this guy is like, you know what, the social media thing doesn't bother me anymore, I really want to see you. If this was me, I'd be finding the first second to craft that message back. The first second I would be grabbing that phone. And, you know, because this guy sounds great. But she let's just find out what she did.
Like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I haven't heard back. And what I said back to him was like, thank you for your message, I appreciate it. Like just appreciating him for like doing the due diligence and respecting what I do, and then saying I'd love to get together. So, haven't heard back. I don't know if I expect to, and I wouldn't be like crushed if I didn't, but that's the update. Okay, so what about Philly Man?
That is the last we hear about this guy. Now listen, that is a shame. Because this guy, again, sounded like the social media thing he decided wasn't a problem. And we don't know what other things didn't align. Because the only thing she talked about was the social media thing. So, in my opinion, this guy... in my opinion, this guy was the last genuine guy she ever actually went out with. Because, as we'll see, Lucas is anything but genuine and healthy, okay? And maybe in the next video we'll actually go through his profile a little bit before we get into kind of their second and third dates, because that is one thing people have pointed out. Is one, he doesn't post like a lot, but the videos he's started posting since he's been with Danielle have been very interesting, to say the least. And we might get into like some of the comment sections as well, but that will be for the next video. Okay. So, that is the last we hear about that guy. Then, she gets asked out at the gym. by Lucas. And that is the next video we're going to watch. This is when things take a turn. This is when the script is flipped, the polar opposites are reached, and shit starts getting crazy, okay?
This is not a drill. I just got asked out at the gym. You're not gonna believe this. He's Brazilian. He is an ex-engineer / model. He seems so sweet and like kind. He told me that he'll teach me how to surf, which is cool. I mean, I'm a little embarrassed
very out of the gate, very like, why are you telling a girl, I'll teach you how to surf? I'm not doing a Brazilian accent, I'm just doing my questionable American one. But like, can you tell I did musical theatre with my, I'll teach you how to surf. What, like it's hard? And Legally Blonde. Anyway, but the way he was immediately like, I'll teach you how to surf. And she's talking about, oh, I was kind of embarrassed because I'm in like my gym things and I've got pale legs or whatever. Weird thing to point out, but anyway. The way that was the first thing she jumped to. But that's the first thing that he said is very, listen, this is a pattern. This is a pattern that continues on. So let's carry on.
my super pale Ghibli legs. But it's okay. He like asked for a number and I was like, I do social media for a living, so I probably won't see your message, but I can give you my number. So I gave him my number and I panicked because you know how I was gonna only give people the landline that I set up for this, but I panicked. I gave him my number.
About that element, but that's weird that she like specifically set up a landline for dating. That separate thought there, but okay.
He's already texted me and asked me to go to coffee. The backstory of this is, yes, this is not a drill. I just got.
Then this then filters in, because this was obviously a TikTok, you can tell by the captions. So then this then filters into the next video, which is this one.
Already texted me and asked me to go to coffee. The backstory of this is, yesterday I saw him at the gym and I made eyes. And he made eyes at me and he like gave me a full-on smile and then I like smiled back at him. It was like a full magnetic moment of like 5 to 7 seconds of that. Like unbroken smiling eye contact. Then I see him again at the gym today and I looked at him again and I gave him the signal, like I dropped the handkerchief and he walked right over to me and asked me out. And ladies, it is that simple. You just have to give the signal. That's it. Also, I didn't mention the best part, which is I brought God up and I was like, I brought it up in conversation. He's like, oh, you believe in God? I'm like, oh, Jesus. And he's like, I love Jesus. And I'm like, oh my God.
Imagine how cringe that is. Sorry. And this is, again, it will be a pattern that comes up. But the way she was like, why would you bring God up in a first conversation, by the way? First of all, weird. And again, that's coming from a Christian. But the way she said she brought God up and he was like, I love Jesus. Girl, stop it. Boy, no. This is... It's the beginning of the cringiest cringe fest you've ever seen on the internet. Trust and believe, okay?
So, I will keep you posted. Already texted me and asked me.
Girl, you kept us posted. Alright, so then this again goes into their first date. And this is how we're going to wrap up this video. We're going to get into their the second and third dates after this and all the debacle in the rest of the series, okay? But because she made so many videos about this damn first date, girl, and one of the main allegations that this whole relationship has received is that it's fake, that it's like paid for, it's like a paid he's like a paid actor, this is like a paid for campaign. The fact that the People magazine article was out was the fact that it was like all planned out and you had to like pay, obviously you have to pay People magazine to be there and everything, and the ring's getting controversy now, which we'll get into, and it's just like, dear God. And yeah, it is very cringe, so please prepare yourself. And this is also why you should follow this channel, and this series, because we're going to cover all of the cringe and we are going to roast the hell out of it and call out the unhealthy bullshit and why you shouldn't be following her advice on this. But okay, let's get into their first date. Okay, we don't need to know what dress she wore, that's fine. Don't know why I saved that.
I'm about to go out with Brazilian man on a first date. I'm trying to tell myself that I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I'm putting it in my fridge. I've already nervous pooped twice. And I don't want to be hungry and have coffee, which is where we're going.
I've noticed she does this on days where she's like, I nervous pooped twice. And it's like, we don't need to know. We don't need to know. We don't need to, like, she can't kiss a guy on a second date, but she'll tell us when she nervous pooped, like how many times she nervous pooped before a date. Like, girl, really? Okay.
So I'm literally just going to eat some turkey. I'm so nervous. I can't even. This is so bad.
Why? That's such a thick thing. Also, I'm vegan, so that just triggers the fuck. Pretending that that's gonna trigger me when it's not. But it's what's triggering me isn't even the fact that it's turkey. It's the fact that it's a whole wad out of a packet that she just noms it. She doesn't just take a slice and just eats it. Sometimes I have done that. Okay, I will put my hand up and say sometimes I have just eaten like slices like that, just like out of a packet, sure, but not the whole damn, like it's a fucking wrap. What is that? Like a turkey taco that's all turkey? Like, please, girl, stop.
Fun. It's fun. Okay, 2 more bites.
What the hell?
Ew.
That's ew. She's putting it back in the packet. No. Ew. That's gross.
I know everyone's gonna freak out about someone to pick me up from my house. It's fine. I'm gonna be safe. Let's just say that. And I'm not advocating for a man picking you up on the first date. This is what happened in this instance. Usually I meet someone somewhere. This is the guy that I met at the gym. He's Brazilian. He's so handsome. He surfs, believes in God. Is very seemingly active in his faith. So that's very attractive to me.
Okay.
One thing though is I don't know how tall he is. And I'm tall. So I'm 5'8".
Sorry,
not that you would know that.
Excuse me? You don't know. You had a full-on conversation with this man at the gym, and you don't know how tall he is? Sorry, I have never noticed that element of this video when I was watching these videos for this video. I did not clock that. I'm clocking this for the first time. This is real-time reaction right here. What the hell does she mean? He asked her out at the gym. They had a whole ass conversation about God. He said, I love Jesus, which again, cringe. But she doesn't know how tall he is. Girl, you stood next to him at the gym. What the hell are you on about? My God.
Me just standing here. But when we were at the gym, I was sitting when he came over to like talk to me, and I only saw him from afar.
Never
so
mind.
I could be like 5 inches taller than him for all I know.
But how? But again, right? Okay, that I kind of called myself up for that one. But still, like, you get a good judge of how tall somebody is, even when you're sat down, right? You can see how tall someone is. You have eyes that work and a working brain, I think. Like, you can perceive that easily. So easily. Also, I'm noticing how dark I am in this. I'm sorry. The lighting in these videos is a fun time. But, my God, please. What the hell do you mean you don't know how fucking tall he is?
So we will see. I will be right back and tell you what happens. I am about to go out with Brazilian man.
She then makes another video, which I think is like 10 minutes before. Wait, no. It's like 10 minutes before the day.
10 minutes. Oh my God. 10 minutes out, and I keep getting more nervous. I'm thinking I'm gonna calm down, and I'm just not. This chair is helping me calm down. Okay, he just texted he's gonna be 10 minutes late. So now I have a whole 15 minutes to stew. It's 7 minutes out, my heart is gonna explode.
I mean, I've been here, I've done this
2
before,
minutes.
but...
Yeah, I see a Mercedes pulling up. Is it him?
I've been like this on the first day. First of all, again, throughout the series, I'm not going to give her too many points of credit, okay? Because I don't think she deserves it. Let me sort this lighting out real quick. My God. Sorted. Now you can actually see me. Fantastic. Okay. Right, so I just wanted to get, again, like, I'm not going to give her too many points of credit in this video because, in this series, sorry, because I don't think she deserves it. But in this scenario, yes, I have done this. I have been that nervous person who your heart can't stop beating 10,000 miles a minute. and you are nervous as hell, right? I have been there, okay? I have been there 100%. But this is the only relatable moment we actually get, realistically, like, for real.
And nope, false alarm. Oh my god, he's here. I see it. Oh. See if he calls me or if he comes to the door. Oh my god, he's getting out. I'm sweating. It's 10 minutes. Oh my god.
So that was 10 minutes before the date. They then go on the date, and she makes another video. This is what we mean when we say this relationship is probably like a paid campaign. This is what we were talking about, okay? So she makes another video because, like, actually at the restaurant, they went to...
I'm in the bathroom of the coffee shop. This might be my husband.
First of all, you should not be saying that on a first date. And I know some people in the comments are going to be like, well, I knew my husband on the first date. Fair enough. But you do not know a person until at least a few months in. I'd say you should, and I will say this already. I was going to say this for later on in the series, but I will say this already. You should be waiting at least 1.5 to 2 years before you even think about getting engaged, because you do not know that person until you have known them for a year. Period. Okay? You should not be saying this on a first date. I will die on that hill, okay?
He is so kind. He is a true man of God, at least from what I can tell. He's just... I really like him. I'm recording live from the second bathroom. This date is going so well. It's going so well. You guys. I'm so cooked. This may be it for me. This could be my husband.
You're not cooked. Girl, it's one day. Okay, sorry. There's going to be many moments of me freaking out with this girl over this series. You're just going to have to get used to that. You are not cooked, girl. You do not know this man. If you're coming back, let me just say this one thing. You can come home from a first date and go, I really like this guy. I want to see him again. I think this is like I think we can have a relationship for this. And then, maybe in the back of your head, intuition tingling, but you're not coming out straight up. Obviously she does social media, so you're not coming back from a first date going, wow, this may be my husband, because you don't know them. We went through this with the last guy, okay? You do not know this person. You do not know them. Okay? So the way she's like, I'm cooked. I'm like, this guy may be my husband. Oh my god, I'm so happy. No guy should be making you feel like that unless you're getting love bombed. I'm gonna say it as it is. Okay? So that was that video. And then I think that's the one I just watched. Okay, so this is...
He is so sweet. And if I had to describe him, man of God. Man of God. Man of God, he is so good.
She talks about this quite a lot. We're gonna get into this, but she goes, man of God. Man of God. Halo. Ting. Man of God. Listen, somebody could be a good, like, very religious person. This is what I'm talking about with fucking American Christians, man. American Christians, especially if they're, like, Baptist or some shit, like, if they are in, like, one of those kind of churches, like, the culty type of church, you know what I mean? They are... Oh, my God. I'm sorry to say they are the most insufferable people ever. But, and, good for her. This was one of the moments where we were all like, oh my god, good for her. Like, yeah, she's found a man of God. Like, this is great. Like, true man of God. And yeah, okay, obviously religion and everything, the man being a Christian is very important to her, fair enough. But, as we will see as this progresses, this becomes less of a lovely thing and more of a, oh girl, we're gonna get into that.
We just spent the last 3.5 hours. What time is it? Who am I kidding? I can't read that. It's 5. The date started at 11. We spent 6 hours talking about Jesus, life, purpose, love, connection, God.
I'm slightly freaking out. Oh my god. Okay, great. You had a great conversation. Good for you.
And he's also very different than I've ever been out with. Like,
now, knowing the context of what comes later, that is not a good thing. If you were seeing this for the first time back when it came out, this was what, July 25? Like, the first video that we reacted to in this video was like May 25, and then this was like July. So she took about a month, and then she met Lucas. But this was like, the way she's like, oh, this guys is very different. I think this guy might be my husband. Oh my god. As much as that sounds sweet, very much a red flag. Very much a red flag, okay? Because, again, on the surface, if knowing the context that comes later and how quickly they fucking go, which is not healthy at all, but we'll talk about that in other videos, like the next videos in this series, but the way she's like, yeah, this guy's very different to what we've done before, and like, man of God, and he might be my husband, is, again, on the surface, sounds very wholesome and very good, and be like, oh my god, girl, good for you, you found your, like, godly man, fair enough. But the way that this just turns into absolute chaos is just, I can't look at this and feel good feelings, okay?
There are certain characteristics that, like, I've never been with someone like that, and I think it's exactly what I need. And he already asked to see me again, and
fair enough.
He literally told me, like, I'm so special.
Wait.
I made him so happy today.
No! You don't know this person! Oh my god, I'm gonna have so many freakouts about this. And this is coming from personal experience. This is the shit that then turned into, I have experienced this before, and I have videos on my channel talking about how I recovered from an emotionally abusive relationship. I have videos on this channel where I talk about that, and I mention it on my social media very occasionally, and about love bombing and all that stuff, because I went through it. 20 to 21 year old me has the trauma to back this up, okay? And I still carry that to this day, because it was like a defining moment for the beginning of my 20s, okay? For somebody who grew up incredibly insecure, didn't date in high school, it was my first relationship, and I got love bombed to shit because why? I was anxious attachment, first of all or nothing kind of mindset, right? And also was very, very vulnerable. So, you know, and actually my ex was proclaiming that he was actually very close with God when he didn't actually give a shit. So, fool me into that way as well. So again, I have many, like, bits of, and, like, personal experience that I can throw into this. This is another big reason why I wanted to make this video series, because, my god, this is insane. But the way, it's specifically the way he's like, you're so special, you made me so happy today. No. It sounds sweet on the surface, doesn't it? But when you're, oh my god, when you ask somebody out of the gym and you're going on a first date with them, all of this sounds like love bombing to me. All of this. And again, knowing the context of what comes after, it's just glaringly obvious. And it's sad in a way that this is being promoted on such a big platform, but she's receiving controversy for it now for the valid reasons. And people have seen it and people are calling it out, including my own, including myself, obviously. That's why I'm making this series. But it's just that, out of all the videos she made for this first date, is the most obvious sign that this is love bombing. And I really want you guys to heed this if you're still learning about all that kind of side of things. This is the real life example of what this looks like. It's another reason why I wanted to make this video series on her, because again, from my own personal experience, it's something I'm really passionate about, spreading awareness about. And also because we have a very big influencer who has a, like, documented series which shows the glaringly obvious signs. And she hits back, like, quite negatively at her haters as well, which we're going to get into maybe in, like, episode 3 of this series. I don't know. See how this goes. Especially when she does the series with Lucas where they sit on that fucking park bench. Do you remember? If you know her content, you know. But, my god. That is the most glaringly obvious sign out of everything that we've seen so far that this is not heading in a good direction for her.
And I'm sitting there doing this thing. I'm like, this is too good. Like, this is too good to be true.
That's another thing that people say. If it feels too good to be true, then it is. Then it always is, okay? Disney will have you fooled, okay? And trust me, you can have a Disney kind of relationship. There's a woman who follows her called Rachel Martino. if you want an example, I mean, to be fair, it's a bit dodgy that she like very openly supports this kind of relationship. She's like said congratulations on her engagement post and stuff, but if you want a good healthy example of a relationship, go over to Rachel Martino's page. Her and Leo, dream. They are relationship goals. This woman and Lucas, no, the complete opposite. Okay, and the way she's like, it's too good to be true, then it is again, paired with the last thing she just said about the way he described her and said like, you're so special, you made me feel so good, that again is love bombing. She's feeling the signs herself by saying this, and she doesn't acknowledge it. She just thinks it's her godly fairy tale.
And I feel like it's still new, but I feel comfortable, you know? Like there's not these anxious butterflies. Like I was nervous before, but like he makes me feel at ease and like taken care of. You guys, what if this is it? I guess I will report back. He is...
And that is the last video we're going to be reacting to today. Okay, let me just change so it's just me. Hello. Okay, I'm sorry that we are incredibly dark. Okay, this is incredibly moody. Kind of fits my alternative vibe I try and bring to the channel. Okay, so that is my first video in this series. Like I said, we're going to be going through the entire relationship timeline. I'm going to be adding my own experience being a Christian, with love bombing, toxic relationships, all of that stuff. We're going to be going through Lucas's profile to see kind of things that you know, why he's also showing glaring signs. We might be going through some of the comment section. I'm not sure because it is kind of brutal in there. If you know, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of the series. Again, if you weren't familiar with Danielle's content, then stick around for this, because it's very important actually that we do this kind of case study, especially because after what I experienced personally in my early 20s, like I feel really passionately about this topic. And I just find it really interesting that, again, we have this pure example of what not to do in terms of relationships. And again, there's a very interesting conversation about dating as a Christian that goes on in this as well. So make sure to subscribe, like this video, share it with anybody who you've been talking about her with maybe, or you feel like people could benefit from this series and like going through her content like this. And again, if you are familiar with her content, make sure to stick around, because it's going to be a messy and fun old time. But again, if you want to follow me on all my social media names, which will be as always at the end of this video, go ahead and do that. That would be great. On my Instagram, I do a lot of like fashion and makeup content, nothing like this. And I showcase my relationship a little bit. There is like a highlight of a few pictures of me and my boyfriend, but I don't parade it all over social media because I don't feel like I need to. And that's a conversation we're going to be having in another video as well, as her and Lucas start becoming official and that kind of thing. And the PDA gets ramped up a little bit, which I think is funny. So again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next messy episode of this series, and I will see you guys in the next one. And again, leave all your thoughts, as always, in the comments.